Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the patch 7.39D tier list for position 5s in patch 7.39D. And wait until we get to the S tier, because I got a hero to show you that is a insane strat that should not be possible, that Seb has been abusing. Two-time TI winner Seb, or at least he was 2 weeks ago. Now I'm abusing it, so thank you, Seb. Okay, so let's get into it with the ones. There's actually not that many of them. I don't think there are any position 5s in the Grief Your Team tier. I think anything that's traditionally played as a 5 is not bad. There's nothing that's like egregiously awful in Dota right now in this role, and I think that's just because we've had so many letter patches. So in the D tier though, we have Lion. Now he has a few issues. I think you pretty much need to get a Blink Dagger. You need items on this hero, and as a 5, he doesn't really have any way of getting there. He doesn't have any like extra gold boost mechanic or way of like AoE farming creeps and taking lanes when cores don't need the lanes. And then once you do get the items, basically he's like a weaker version of Bane and Shadow Shaman because they're all just like these chain disable type heroes. So Lion's a bit rough. I think as a 4, he's actually decent. Treant Protector, I love this hero. So I tried it. They just recently in the letter patch gave him a little bit of extra damage on the ult. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is probably good. Still not good. It feels like there are so many things in the game that dispel the ult. Like, there's tons of universal heroes, like Abaddon, building Manta. Then Abaddon also has 2 ways of dispelling the ult himself. You know, Ursa is an S tier carry. You can just press R, it takes off Treant's ult. BKB is a popular item, and everybody's saving that and having some other form of, like, dispel or tankiness, so you can just wait until Treant ulti is popped, press the BKB. Yules is good. So it really feels like so much of his fighting is around the ult. And I know people say, just split push, get a meteor hammer. Split pushing has not really been a thing for like 5 years. Believe me, I wish it was. Nature's Prophet is probably my most played hero other than Pudge. So I wish it was a thing, but all of these heroes are just fighters now. Grimstroke, I think as a 4, he has a place. I think as a very specialty hero, he has a place. Like, if you know that you're picking it both with a hero that pairs with the ulti outside of the laning stage, like Doom, for example, and then in the laning stage, you have a hero like Wraith King or Ursa that you're putting the Inkswell on, then it's all right. It's definitely decent. But that's a lot of requirements for a position 5 that you're first picking, that you're forcing your team to pick these things, and I honestly feel like probably it's a better 4. You get items, it's a lot stronger. Like, if you can get to the Aghanim Scepter, this is really good, and you actually have a way of getting there because you can now farm Ancients, because you can, you know, curve the Q. But all of these things that I'm mentioning, this is a position 4 tactic, not position 5. Moving on to the C tier, we have Witch Doctor. I would highly recommend this hero for anybody that is forced to play 5 that is not a 5. Gree makes it so that you can legitimately feed and benefit from feeding. So just walk into smokes for your team, and it's good. I would recommend the Cleft Death facet. That one is the one that I see people going for in pro-level pubs. When people do play it, it's usually carry players that have to play 5 that end up playing this hero. But it's decent. I will say, like, the weakest thing about the hero is it feels like Cask is better for stunning now. You can chain stun 2 people very close to each other now that it's fast, but it is not good at clearing creep waves. People even skip the +2 Cask bounces and go for the AoE on his Maledict. Honestly, both of these feel kind of bad because you're usually Maledicting one guy anyway, and you have to run in to do it. It's a bit scuffed, but the Cask bounces, it just doesn't feel like it adds much. You don't even kill a whole creep wave with this. So Witch Doctor's in a weird place, but he's low-key kind of decent. Phoenix, I think this is probably a 4, maybe an offlane. I know DM plays it a lot in the offlane. There was like a brief window there where people were using the facet where at the end of your Sunray, you're dealing more damage and more heal, but then people went back to the other one because it feels a lot better for laning. It does feel like there's a lot in the game that just insta-kills the egg. Like Ursa, for example, is extremely popular, and all the spells that we talked about for Treant Protector, these are also working wonders against Phoenix. Techies. Okay, I have been convinced by Techies Official that this is a legitimately good hero. I'm not going to sit here and claim to you that I know what the exact build is. The side blast off facet seems like the best one, but I have a prediction that 9 class is going to be picking Techies at TI. I really feel like this is a decent hero, maybe even higher than C tier, just something that requires a little bit more exploration. So if you're a Techies player, definitely a good patch for you. Ogre Magi is a solid hero. King Jungles from Heroic was playing it, and he really likes the hero. He's not like the type of guy to play something even if it's bad. So Ogre, definitely solid, like good laner. Once you hit level 2, you're going for the facet that gives you essentially level 3 at level 2. It's a really strong power spike if you can pair it with another hero that has a really strong level 2 power spike, like Ogre Weaver, Ogre SF. Ogre really loves standing in front, by the way, for these ranged carries like TASF, which there's a lot of. Like, these heroes just need a body at level 1, which Ogre's like, all right, I mean, I don't have any spells, I'll be a body for you. So it's definitely a solid Ogre patch. Batrider, S tier hero, I will say. Like, just a couple weeks ago, before the letter patch where he got nerfed, he was the best position 4 in the game, and probably still a really high tier position 4, probably S tier. And I put him into C tier of position 5 only because he's such a good position 4. He's got to be a good position 5. It just kind of requires you to be a Batrider player because you're not going to get the same farm on 5. Ancient Apparition. This hero's current role in the meta is that Dazzle is really overpowered. Dawnbreaker is really overpowered. It's more a counter to Dazzle, and you just ult the guy that's being focused, so that way when they get shallow graved, when they get healed, they don't get healed. Because people have tried like going Orchid versus Dazzle and all of this bullshit, and you jump him, and it's like, it just doesn't work because his Nothel realm illusion thing, he can't be silenced or whatever, you know. So basically Falcons was like, okay, let's just prevent healing. Let's go Ancient Apparition. Other than that, I feel like AA's laning is kind of weak. There's not excellent combos with him in the game. Like, it was an AA patch a little while ago, and they giga nerfed him. So he's fallen off since then, but people have gone back to it just to counter Dazzle. Shadow Demon, I think also this is probably like Batrider, where it's a better 4. Glimmer, Force, a lot of these things that are purgeable are still like good in the game. It's just that I feel like you want to abuse the stacks. You want to stack triangle, and the best place to do that is from a 4 position. And I think a lot of the offlaners would really enjoy like the early timing of having a stacked triangle. Like, sure, SD could maybe stack the Ancients by the portal for like a Sven or something, but any support can do that, so it's not really some sort of advantage. I do think Disseminate is a definitely underrated ability, but SD is okay. Lich kind of fell off when they made it so that when Chain Frost bounces on the Spire, that the Spire loses HP. So you can't just continuously have this thing bouncing on the Spire. There's only a certain number of bounces. And then after that, they buffed Lich quite a few times, and it feels like Lich is actually in a decent place. And I think Lich has played more around the instant disable, as well as like still good team fighting, but you're playing around like the pull, and yeah, it's good. But I think it's a lot of the things in this tier, Lich included, are like, if you're a specialty player, you know, I'm bronze 4 on Lich, so I'm not going to go picking Lich. It's not worth it right now. It's not like it's that good. Crystal Maiden, very abusable. Like, it's this weird archetype of hero where she's always been this way, where she is the easiest hero to feed on in the entire game. So if you're playing against like Pudged Husk, stuff like that, it feels miserable. But like, if you can get CM with a Jug in lane and you're dumpstering the lane, or you're playing against like a Spirit and you need the hard disable from the root, it's like she offers a ton of damage, she offers a ton of disable, good laning. It's just that also she can feed, so she's a very, very volatile hero right now, and there's not a huge amount that you can do to protect her. So I feel like that's why she's in C tier. But if you can get a game where they don't have good stuff for like jumping and killing a CM, she's legitimately like A tier. Oracle, I've been seeing people play this mid. Oh my god, Thompson has completely decimated pubs. It is so funny. Yeah, I mean, I would say like Oracle, every tier list for position 5, I would rate him high. So I finally just gave up and moved him down to C tier because people have tried to make it work. Like, you know where the runes are, but a lot of the time your team just doesn't give a like, they just go to both runes, or they go to the wrong rune anyway. Like, it requires teamwork. And then the laning can be a bit weak because, you know, you can like literally end up healing the enemies. And Axe is popular a lot of the time. If you Oracle ult somebody when they're low, like, Axe can dunk them. There's some games where it's like good to have the purge. I mean, against Axe in particular, like pressing Q on the Axe W, or if there's like a Dazzle you're laning against, even though Dazzle's normally a 5, you can purge that. So, like, there are games where Oracle is definitely viable, but in terms of pubs, I would rate it C tier. In terms of, like, if you're playing competitive or you're playing party with your friends and you have people that are playing around Oracle, then it's way higher, for sure. I wanted to make this tier list more, like, pub-related, because that's what I'm doing, is I'm playing a lot of pubs. Enchantress, well, we'll get there, but I kind of feel like Enchantress is, like, a bit of a Shen, they buffed the facet where if you enchant somebody, you get extra attack range. And since then, people have tried Enchantress, but the win rate has been consistently pretty low on it. It feels like her laning is not really what it used to be, and her snowballing is not what it used to be. But I will say, I was talking to Owie69,000 ages ago when I was personally learning 5 position. This is why I'm level 14 with the hero. And he said, if you want to learn 5, the number 1 hero in the game to do it with is Enchantress, because if you play perfectly, you can snowball more than any other 5, but if you make any mistakes, it snowballs in the other direction. So this is probably the single most volatile position 5. So if you want to learn 5 and really destroy your MMR in the process, this is a good hero for you. Venomancer, there was a while people were running like Veno Jungle. I think you can probably still do the snaking thing where you like secure the lane for a bit, and then if the lane is good, then you go jungle and be greedy, farm like Mechanism, Mana Boots, that sort of thing, maybe Vessel. I think Veno's decent. You honestly probably go for the facet as a 5 where the ult spreads, because that one can be pretty devastating in team fights. I know people have tried the other one because the potential for damage on wards is juicy, but yeah, I think this requires specific combos. Like, you need to have a hero that wants to get kills in lane with the Veno, and also if you're playing Veno into like Morphling, for example, Lycan, for example, these heroes with like innate regen, ability to run through the wards and not really care about you, it can feel really bad. So definitely counterable, but in a solid game, it can be pretty free as well. Snapfire, I was going to rate this hero originally D tier because I feel like she's always really strong when there are strong combos with her ult, like Faceless Void. If that hero is popular, which it's not, then Snapfire is popular because you set up for her ult. However, some of the really popular heroes like Undying and Pugna, they have these things that you need to kill by hitting them a certain amount of times, and Little Shredder lets you do that. So I've actually seen Snapfire get picked a little bit more in pro level pubs. Like, people are experimenting with it, and I think it's a bit underrated right now. Io, I saw 9 class play in offlane Io with Helm Dom 2, and I've seen a decent amount of Io 4 position playing, usually with like Marcy or something like that. But Luna is a very popular carry, Ursa's a popular carry, Gyro is a popular carry, and these are amazing combos with Io. So I like low-key refuse to believe that, even though I haven't seen it much as a 5, I refuse to believe that it's not a good 5. So that's why I put it in C tier. Okay, moving on to the B tier. Once again, there's a lot of heroes in here, and I know you're looking at one of these, okay? I understand. Listen, I played a lot, all right? I'm not coping. We'll get there. Clockwork. So I was very tempted to have this hero in S tier because I feel like there are some games that he just destroys. Like, if you're playing against some Pudge, Bane, Lion, like, there are just heroes that hate a Clockwork running on top of them. It feels so oppressive, and the amount of that you can do with his cogs. Don't eat chainmails. That's not what you do. I wish you did. It would be very funny. But this hero is all about the big cogs and knocking people back and kind of vacuuming them in. This is very strong. The one downside to Clockwork, and also a lot of the carries love playing with you. I mentioned for Io, heroes like Luna, SF, Gyro, TA, like all of these heroes love a Clockwork to run in and be in front of them in lane. But if you fall behind, he cannot farm creeps anymore with his Q. That was a very good way to get items on the hero. So you need to dominate lane, which you probably will, because Clock plus a ranged hero is insanely strong, but you don't have the recovery that he had before, so that's why I put him in B tier. So he's very, very good, though. Dawnbreaker. Me, this is probably the strongest hero in the entire game, and that is literally the only reason I put her in B tier for position 5s, is that I don't even think she's a 5. I think you just pick Dawnbreaker and then type in chat Dawnbreaker, so that way people ban it. Like, legitimately, so much of the meta is determined by Dawnbreaker right now. She's definitely a better 4 and an even better offlaner. She's the best offlaner in the game, in my opinion. The Aghanim Scepter is so busted on here. You just go Soul Ring Ags. People are not even going Blade Mail. They're not going for any bullshit before the Ags. A lot of people are even straight up rushing it. So yeah, Dawnbreaker, insane, and you'll see that a lot of the A and S tier heroes are actually determined by Dawn being insanely strong. It's funny, I had these accidentally next to each other, but Axe and Dawnbreaker are in the exact same category where they're just busted heroes, and so because of that, they're good 4s and good 5s. With Axe, your build is 3 Rings of Protection and a Blood Grenade, and you press W on somebody and it does like 200 damage. It is insane for trading, and then you build into an Urn, Blink Dagger, some people are even going for a Vessel. It's genuinely a decent 5 and a decent 4 as well. Slacks was ahead of the curve with Diaper Man. He knew what he was talking about. Okay, this is the one that I know people are going to give me over. All right, hear me out. There is this spot in the mid lane you can smoke in where you can hook somebody and they cannot get out. I abuse this all the time as a 5. And the tree lines by the safe lane towers, you have to quelling like 2 trees to get out. It's just not possible. Or you need to walk super, super far. So there's actually really good hook spots in the trees. And I feel like the way people play Pudge, even 9 Class, who's a 4 player, he will be aggressive in the early game. And then he hits a certain point where he just farms and then hooks his team out and Glimmer Capes his team. This is 5 position gameplay. Saving your team, this is 5 gameplay. So I genuinely think Pudge is like an underrated 5. Anytime I'm this hero, I will start in the safe lane, even if I'm 4, just to hook people into those trees and get a kill on the lanes. I will say, you have to hit your first few hooks. You have to subvert expectations. You have to be an annoying fuck. But if you are, it's a very strong hero. Vengeful Spirit. I did not have this hero in my off-lane tier list, and it's just because I forgot it existed. It is a very good hero. They recently nerfed the damage gain on it, but I believe increased the base damage that she has, which means she's even better as a support. Still a broken offlaner, and a very good support, possibly even A tier. You'll see when we get to A tier why so many good heroes are in the B tier, because the A and S tier ones are insane. So Venge is a very good hero. There's a lot of heroes you want to swap out. Like, you can swap out of an Axe Call that's a counter to Axe. Axe is S tier. Bat Rider's an S tier, position 4. Swapping out of Lasso has always been a very strong thing. Her stun is now good in the early levels. Her W is great for trading. Her stat gains are insane. Venge is good. Ringmaster, he exists in this category where sometimes there is just so much single target on the enemy team, and you simply need a single target, like untargetable save. That is where I'm at with Ringmaster, is you're not playing around the Q, you're not playing around the E, although the E does a lot of damage. You're not playing around the ult because it's quite small and you have to be really good to hit that thing. It's all about the save. But it is hard countered by Pangolier and Leshrac. Like, if those heroes are in the game, your W does fucking nothing, and that feels incredibly bad. So you have to be careful. But I had to rate him highly because, like, as a counter to these things, he's really, really good. It's just that he's also countered by stuff. Disruptor. This is a hero that a lot of people are trying. Some heroes get completely owned by Static Storm. You know, heroes like Morphling, even though he can a lot of the time get Morph off, you can still kill him in a Static Storm, and you can glimpse him after he waveforms out, etc. The knockback being an activatable thing is definitely very strong for saving your team and for like trading in lane. You can just literally be like, get off me, and people can't kill you. So Disruptor's good. He's strong at laning. If you're snowballing, he's way, way better because glimpsing people back feels completely overpowered in that moment. So he's solid. Jakiro, one of the highest damage dealing supports. I think Whitemon would probably rate this as S tier, but Ducalis didn't. I saw Ducalis' tier list on the Paravision Instagram. He did not rate Jakiro super highly, but it depends on the position 5 that you're asking. Like, I think if you want a team fighter, if you want a stunner, a hero that's very strong at securing lane, he's really good. It's just that the way that you're leveling him definitely matters. Like, you can max all of his stuff first. Like, if you need Disable, if you're against Storm, you max the W. If you need Tower Push, you max his E. If you need damage, you max the Q. You probably go 2 points in Q no matter what for the laning stage. But Jakiro is a, very solid hero. Elder Titan, the ult can be very devastating. Any heroes that, like, want to commit to a fight, if you can get the ult versus that, it can be very strong, especially if you have some sort of, like, puck where you're anchoring a fight around a specific area. His laning is very strong. You can punch people really, really hard. Morphling is popular. You can reduce his armor to 0. Meepo is popular. You can get a ton of damage from him. He's not really played too much around the sleep anymore. Really, it's the ult and like the punching people, and rarely sometimes the aura. But Elder Titan is definitely good. It's just that this is a highly specialty hero. Like, you have to know how to abuse his crazy damage and tankiness in the early game. Winter Wyvern, speaking of specialty heroes, I know there are some people that would maybe rate this A or S tier. I think that there's a lot of heroes that can jump and kill a Wyvern. Storm, Ember, and there are heroes like Timber that people are picking that don't care about Wyvern. But then on the flip side, Sven is like the most popular carry in the game, right? Like Sven, Ursa, and you can use these heroes to straight up insta-give an enemy support, or you can protect entirely from all of their damage. And people are going for the cold embrace facet that lets you embrace buildings. This is one of the most annoying stalling mechanisms in the entire game. I think Wyvern is in a place where if it doesn't get nerfed and the other supports get nerfed, you'll end up with a meta where Wyvern is like S tier. Maybe not now, but you will definitely end up there. Marcy, a lot of these heroes that I'm listing in the B tier could actually be like A tier, but they're just very, very high skill. Great frontliner. It's, like Axe or Clockwork for like SF, for Luna. The facet where you're causing your team to also jump with you is the one that most people are going for on a support position. And this one is really good, but you can also completely grief your team. But yeah, Marcy is basically one of these like really strong killing melee fours. And then her scaling is very good as well. Like you can be a support killer in the late game, even if you are just a support. Bounty Hunter, they just buffed the amount of gold that people get from track. And I thought Bounty was like pretty good before. This hero does good damage. His laning is actually pretty decent now with the Q. The only issue with him is you can kind of feel useless in fights if you don't have items. But it's kind of easy to get items with him too. His laning can also be an issue if like they can kill you. But by God, there is very few heroes in Dota that can snowball a game like Bounty Hunter. And they made it even better with track giving more gold to your allies. So I think Bounty Hunter is, I thought at the start of the patch he was low-key busted. Now I realize that he's got his issues, but he's still very, very good. Moving on to the A tier, these are the really, really good heroes in Dota right now. You have Silencer. He counters Queen of Pain and Dawnbreaker. These are two S tier heroes. That is Silencer's entire gimmick, but they are in every game. They are so relevant that it makes Silencer a god. I was considering putting this S tier, but the A tier heroes are all very good. Pugna, excellent save support, like most of the strong position 5s and position 4s, and honestly a lot of heroes in Dota are just, oh hey, you wanted to have fun? You wanted to take a fight? Guess what? Nope. This is what Pugna does. He puts a ward down, enemy team doesn't want to fight, he heals his team, enemy team can't kill a guy. You know, Dawnbreaker, same thing. You try to go on a guy, Dawn saves them. You try to go on a guy, Silencer presses ult. Everything is about counter initiation and doing nothing right now. And to be honest, it's a bit frustrating of a patch to play if you're trying to make moves, but trust me, go play these save heroes in a game, wait for the enemy team to get bored, and then press your save thing and watch how they struggle. It is sad. So Pugna, very strong, also incredibly good against Tinker. If you're sick of getting tinkered, which I am, you put the ward down, that mother can't cast anything. He just can't. He'll kill himself. So super hard counter to Tinker. Bane, the sleepwalk facet, excellent. Chef's kiss. This is a very, very good facet. You can walk people into tower, you can walk people onto cliffs. A very cool thing that you can do is when the enemy team is going for a wisdom shrine, you can walk them out of it. You can walk them out of the wisdom shrine. You can walk them out of the lotus pool. Like, this is underrated for laning. Bane's damage is incredibly high for laning, I should say. He has good trading mechanics with Brain Sap. It's a huge health swing for a okay mana cost, but he has good stats. And then a lot of spirits are being picked mid, so the Fiend's Grip is a huge counter to like Puck, Quap, Ember Spirit, Storm. All of these heroes don't like to be gripped. Bane is very solid. Speaking of not liking to be gripped, Shadow Shaman offers about the same disable as Bane, so good for all the same reasons. His laning is very strong. A lot of people are just going Boots Blood Grenade now and just right-clicking people to death. I like the big ward facet. This is the one that I think is broken. You can legitimately, with another support, walk into Roche and take it super early on into the game. This is what Whitemon does on Team Tundra. Whitemon and Soxa, they just go straight Roche. You put down, and like, this is the most important thing about Shadow Shaman. Put your ward down on objectives. Make sure your team is fighting around objectives, because then worst case, you put the ward down, a fight happens, oh no, we got wiped, we lost the fight. Guess what? You just took a tower. I have seen this thing single-handedly end game. It is that strong. Like, you can finish Roche with it, you can finish towers with it. Like, it's crazy. Always fight around the ward. Warlock. Oh man, the heal on the hero, now that it does like this little ion shell damage, you can use it aggressively to kill, but you can't lane against it. Like, this guy fatal bonds the creeps, pushes the wave out, little imps are spawning, doing a ton of damage to you, you're healing your carry, you push the wave, and guess what? That means if they unblock their hard camp, you just say thank you, because that's your hard camp, because you pushed the lane so well. His fighting is insane. Like, that's the thing, is like, he is a counter to the OP stuff in the meta, where it's like Dawnbreaker ults in, Axe jumps in, these things are very committal, boom, Warlock ulti, fatal bonds. Like, that's where Warlock really shines. And then the Black Grimoire, if you can save this, if you can be there for some early assists, the amount of XP that you can get from this thing, you can legitimately be like the highest level in the game. Warlock is very, very strong. Ask T Governor, he climbed to 13k with this hero. It's a very strong hero. Okay, now we have the S tier, and we will start with the hero that I tantalized your taste buds about, which is a very broken strategy that you can do that I saw Seb do originally, which is you pick Chen, you send a Satyr mid, and you hide it in the trees, and you walk in and you mana burn the enemy mid every time that it's off cooldown. The range is long. It does good damage. It burns their mana, especially before bottle. It is so goddamn cancer. And it's like dual laning mid, except you're not stealing XP from your mid because it's a creep. And then people go for the Q and they play around the fact that Chen has really good damage in lane because he's a universal hero. This shit is so bonkers for you're just winning 2 lanes. A lot of the time the enemy mid will legitimately tilt out of the game and you'll just win based on that. I will say I was debating putting it A tier because it is pretty hard to play, where you need to know what the different creeps do. You need to be able to micro the creeps, but worst case, just get aura creeps, get the Aghanim shard pretty quickly, get your ancient creeps, build auras. Ducalis goes for drums, no boots, by the way. He goes drums, Vlad's, Solar Crest. He just goes for the items where he stands in a fight and says, I'm Chen, guys. I'm going to heal you, and I'm going to press my E on you, give you armor. I'm going to press my drums. I'm going to Vlad's, and go ahead, do your thing. And then you can legitimately, if you don't want to micro the creeps, send them down a lane and cut a wave. That's always really strong to have a lane constantly shoving in, or just have them as auras in fights. It's very strong, and the skill cap to this hero is incredibly high. It's unbelievably strong right now. Nature's Prophet. They nerfed this in the most recent letter patch. They nerfed the healing from the trees, and they nerfed the damage from the trees. And guess what? It is still banned in every single goddamn game. People basically just realize, like, hey, you give the hero with the strongest stats in the game and global teleport a very effective way of trading, you know, very low mana cost trees, good damage, and any amount of heal. It is way too strong for laning. And then Aghanim Shard plus Blade Mail plus Vessel outside of the laning stage is like crazy kill threat and tankiness. You TP into a fight, people try to focus you, you have a shield, you have a ton of damage. It's a huge rip in pepperonis. It's banned in every single game. Undying, this hero also got nerfed, and really, that's it? The zombies despawn when he dies? Who gives a Oh my god, it's still so good. It's so strong. Nothing outlanes Undying. People will legitimately get boots and cut the wave. This is what you have to do versus him. But then it's not like he falls off outside of, oh, just wait for him to fall off. He doesn't. He hits you. He spawns zombies on you. He's insanely tanky. He's reducing your max strength. Tombstone is a pain in the ass to kill. This thing, you put it down, you win any fight. Very similar to Shadow Shaman. Put the Tombstone down somewhere that you know the enemy team has to fight. It's so annoying to put it down on towers, to defend, to push. It's annoying to put it down on Roshan, on high grounds. That's the most important thing. And then he gets a save once you get the Aghanim Shard. Undying, very solid. Dazzle, S tier hero. A lot of the meta is determined by Dazzle right now as well. It's like Dazzle, Dawnbreaker, these are a couple of the heroes. Incredible laner. The Q is very difficult to play against. A lot of people are even going like Legion Commander off lane to just try to take the Q off, but then you're forcing like a bad hero because there's an S tier hero on the enemy team. Grave, healing at the end of it with the ult, and then Aghanim Shard is amplifying all of the healing by 20% and making it so the counters to Dazzle, which are disable him and kill him before he ults, guess what? Aghanim Shard, you can use the ult while disabled. It's crazy. They could legitimately remove that from the Aghanim Shard and it would probably still be a good Aghanim Shard. It's like they make it so the one counter to Dazzle does not exist with a 1400 gold item. And guess what? He's fast at farming because his E is incredible at pushing lanes. The facet you go for is the healing one, 100%. The most important part about it is that it's making it so your weave is amplifying your healing. You go for Holy Locket, you go for Greaves, you go for Glimmer Cape, anything that you can use while in the ult form is really, really strong. And legitimately, what people are doing, because the ult does not have the same resources as the main guy, once you use the ult, you just spam everything. Like, grave somebody just for the heal. Even if the guy's not going to die, you just grave them, you heal them, and they're guaranteed full HP. Like, it's such a cancerous hero to play against. I don't even know how to counter it, other than you pick equally cancer on the other side. Anyway, there's my tier list. There they are. I'd say it's pretty accurate. Maybe a few things are wrong, but it's pretty accurate. Go gain your MMR. Good job. Keep it up.